Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I am playing through some of the solo mode for Eternal Decks. And no disclaimer for this one, a super kind member of our Discord, Marley, sent me a copy of the French version of the game. That's why you'll see the names and things are in French. So thank you so much, Marley, you are awesome. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Eternal Decks is a cooperative, limited communication card-laying game. You're going to be playing cards from your hand, mostly to what's called the field, which is these rows here, with different rules of how you can place the cards and how you can't. And whenever you fill all the empty spots next to these decks over here, which are the Eternals, the Eternal decks, if you will, that you'll awaken the Eternal, which is a bad thing because they suddenly limit what kind of cards you can play, but is a good thing because you get all of these cards from their deck summarized on the card itself at the bottom of your own draw deck, because this is a game where you're going to be very quickly running out of cards, and you need to refresh your supply so you can draw and play on your turn by awakening these Eternals. Now, after you awaken the Eternals and they start limiting what you can play, you can then discard cards as your turn in different configurations to put gems on the Eternals, and that'll make them happy again, and their little restriction won't apply anymore. But why are you doing all this? What's the point? Well, it depends on the scenario you're playing. Today I'm going to play through scenario A and maybe scenario B. We'll see how it goes. I might get 2 plays in. In scenario A, you're trying to earn these stars that are around the board, and you get them by accomplishing different things, like putting Eternals up here and then getting gems on them to make them happy. In the other scenarios, you're trying to earn 4 keys, but how you get them varies quite a bit, which you'll see with the second play already. Now, additionally, when you're playing in solo mode, you have to get all 6 of these gems put out on Eternals in addition to everything else you're doing, because you have perfect information in the 3-handed play you're playing, whereas in the actual game, there's a lot of hidden information about who has which cards in their hand, and that limited communication is a big limitation on the game. So again, they had to balance solo by requiring you to get all these gems out. Well, let's talk a bit more about what you can do on your turn. By the way, like I said, I have a French edition of the game. There is a new English edition coming, but a cool thing is that they have all of the English player aids and the new English rulebook and stuff online. So I printed those out, and the actual cards and stuff in the game are completely language independent except for like the names of the cards, so it's very easy to do. So on your turn, you can play a card to the field, the river, or use it as an ability card. You'll mostly be playing a card to the field. You can alternatively generate a jewel, like I mentioned, by discarding cards in those configurations to make the Eternals happy, or you can give a card to a teammate, but that costs 1 of your hearts. You have 3 hearts in the game. And then at the end of your turn, you draw back to 3 cards unless you already have 3 or more cards, or unless your draw deck is empty, and then you just leave your hand as is. Now, these little location cards in the field, they vary based on difficulty level. This is the main way to change the difficulty by making these tougher. They vary based on scenario. So in scenario A, at standard difficulty, which is what I'm playing, I have the mountain. I don't know French, montagne, I don't know, and grotte, the cave, the mountain and the cave. And I'm starting out with the forest in the bottom row, but there are 4 cards here, so I'm going to be changing that one up. And here are how the placement rules work. On your turn, you generally are playing 1 card to the field. So you can play any card first, but then the next card cannot share a color with the last card and cannot share a card value with the last card. So I couldn't play a 4 yellow here because that's the same color. I couldn't play a 1 green here because that's the same number. So those are sort of the standard card playing rules regardless of the location in that row. But then these locations will add other rules. So the mountain requires each card to be a higher value than the last. Like I could do 3 and then 4 and then 5. The cave is the exact opposite. You have to be descending with each card play. And the forest, which is not quite as restrictive, does not allow you to play the same number or the next number up or down. So I couldn't play a 2 here, but I could play a 3. Well, not that 3. I could play a 4, but now I couldn't play a 3 or a 5 or a 4 here, because you can never play the same number next to a card. But with the forest, you also can't play the number 1 above or 1 down. So I'd have to play like a 2 or a 1 here. I should say for the starting cards you have, they only go from 1 to 5. But if you look at the cards the Eternals offer when you revive them, they go all the way up to 9. All right, and in solo play, I have 3 golems representing the 3 hands I'm playing from. Here you can see 2 of them. You have a hand of 3, and each person starts out with a 5-card deck of all of one color. So 1 through 5 red, 1 through 5 green, and so on. So we are, again, going to run out of cards very quickly unless we revive the Eternals. Now, in the cooperative game, you can have different forms of limited communication. One of them is to use these little communication discs, and you can just put one on a spot whenever you want, and that will kind of clue people into something. Like here, I'm probably going to play a 1 or a 2 here to start off the mountain row. But in the solo mode, they are powers you use. So you can use red's power up to twice, green's power up to twice. And what the power does is based on what you've unlocked. There's like a little campaign mode where you are unlocking new powers and things, and you also are earning victory points in each of the 5 scenarios, and you're trying to get the highest score possible. It is, I'll be honest, a little bit cumbersome, but also pretty cool. A nice addition, though, of the upcoming new English version, because again, they have the rulebook available online, is that you can play one-off play and just jump into any scenario without the campaign concerns. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you what the campaign looks like for the first 2 scenarios, or again, first 1, depending on how long it takes me. But at the moment, the red golem can, twice per game, draw an extra card to his hand, giving him more options. The green golem can, twice per game, give a card from his hand to another golem without using one of our hearts. And the yellow golem, twice per game, can play a card without worrying about the curses of revived Eternals. Like this Phantom, this Ghost, says you can't play 5s or 7s. The yellow guy could say, psych, I'm going to play a 5 if I want to. Now again, I can get more powers as I both unlock stars. That's one way to unlock these. And also I can get really cool ongoing powers if I store cards on the golems, which I could actually do as my very first action. Well, let's not do that. Let's start working on awakening some Eternals, or reviving. I think it's revival in the book. All right, so first red golem is going to play a 5, because that's the highest card we have for the cave. Should give us some flexibility. And he draws a 1 to go with his 3 and his 4. Then green, might as well do a 4. And, yellow doesn't have a 3, but that's okay. He's got a 2. And he has a 5, 4, 1 now. And then red, might as well finish it with a 1. So let's walk through the process of reviving an Eternal. So red has finished all of the empty spaces, which means we're going to revive one of the 3 of these. I don't have to pick the leftmost one. And by the way, there are 4 sets of Eternals for each row. You can see these are the B Eternals, the C Eternals, the A Eternals. Again, that's also going to vary based on difficulty and scenario. But I don't have to revive the Ghost. I could revive the Skeleton or the Vampire. However, whichever one I revive, I'm going to take them, I'm going to slide the other ones to the right if necessary, and all these cards are going to get discarded, so the next Eternal I want to revive will need 5 cards. The next Eternal after that will need 6 cards. And with limitations like the cave, making you have to keep going lower, things can get tough unless you can get good cards to go with it. All right, so I want to look at what they offer. The Ghost goes from 2 to 9. He's got a little Ghost ability card. He's also got a little horned guy here. Skeleton is one of them too. Vampire has 2 of them. And those represent rare cards in their deck. These are amazing because they can be played anywhere to generate a jewel or into the field and count as whatever color and whatever number you want. So it makes it way, way easier to complete whatever requirement you're going for. Now, I also want to look at color and value. The Vampire has more reds, and this is red getting it, which actually isn't the worst thing in the world because red can unlock a power with his little store a card option. So yeah, let's go ahead and get red the Vampire. All right, so I wake up the Vampire, which means we cannot play purple cards specifically into the field, into these rows. You can still discard purple cards for jewels. It also doesn't affect playing them to the river, which I haven't talked about yet, but basically that's a spot to trash your cards if you don't have anything else to do for them. So yeah, he's revived in glorious color. I can't play purple cards for a while. He goes up to the leftmost spot in this revival area. And the red golem takes all of his cards and shuffles them underneath his existing draw deck, which was at this point a single card. Like I said, the other Eternals slide to the right. All of these played cards go away to the discard pile. And if this row had multiple locations, multiple terrain types, like the forest in the bottom row does, I would get rid of the top one and flip the next one so the rules for playing cards would change. In this scenario, it's always the mountain and always the cave for the first 2 rows. Now, just a reminder about generating jewels. If I want to, on one of my turns, I can discard cards in certain configurations to take the jewel and put it on the Vampire, and then we could play purple cards again. There's not much of a hurry in this case to do that, but we do want to do it eventually, and especially in solo mode, we are required to do it. So just to go through what the requirements are, this one requires you to to discard a 1 or a 9. This is 2 of the same number. That's what the X represents, like 2 3s, 2 4s. This is 3 cards of the same color, 3 reds, 3 greens. This is 3 cards of different colors. This is 3 cards of the same value. And this is specifically a 1, a 5, and a 9. Although, to be clear, rare cards can sub in for any of those, especially for 159. It's very helpful to have. And you'll see there's a star next to the 159 because that's one of the things you can do to get one of the 4 stars we need to win, in addition to getting the 6 jewels because we're playing solo. We'll also get a star if we revive 3 Eternals and then get gems on all of them. That's what this one represents. So planning ahead a bit, because we need 6 jewels and we need 4 stars, we will definitely get 2 of our 4 stars by getting the 6 jewels out on 6 Eternals. There's kind of no way to get around that. We'll definitely get this star out because we need to do the 6 jewels. For the other one, we got a few options. These spots, only in scenario A, are going to come from the special ability cards of the A creatures, the A Eternals, like the Phoenix's ability card here. When you play them, they go here, and when you play the third one, so Phoenix, Siren, and Fairy, then we'll get that star. We also get a star if we revive all 9 Eternals, not putting jewels on them, just reviving them. And finally, we can get a star if we complete this bottom row a 4th time, because the first time we'll get one of these 3, second time another one, third time another one. If you do the 4th one, you get the star over here. Oh, oops, I forgot to put out a card. If you do the A row a 4th time, you get to swap the terrain type of one of the other rows with the camp, which has no placement restrictions except for the regular ones to not have the same color or the same number, so it can make it easier to complete other rows. And if you complete the cave a 4th time, you get all of your hearts back, which is again the resource that lets you, as your turn, give a card from your hand to another player. All right, and red draws their last red. We've got 2, 3, 4 for them. All right, green is up, and both green and yellow are running pretty low, so let's start helping them out. And let's work on the mountain with green's 1 over here. Wait, maybe not, because yellow's got 1, 4, and 5, so they don't have good options. Now let's go for the forest instead, maybe. Or we can work on both. Why not? So we'll have green do the 1. They have drawn their last card, though, which is a little bit worrisome. Although red can always give some cards to them, worst case. And then we can have yellow place a 1 down in the forest, which means you couldn't put a 1 or a 2 here next. But red will take a 2 red over here to the 1 green. Okay, and then green can put a 3, and we'll have yellow finish off with a 4. So yellow's about to get some more cards. Green is the one that's about to be in a crisis, but we'll take care of that. So what does yellow want? None of these give a lot of yellow cards. All of their ability cards, that last one with an icon, are the same. Those are what are going to go up here to get us a star. So really, I think what we should be looking at are the restrictions. And I think the fairy's restriction that you can't play 9s, which I don't believe any of us have. Yeah, the vampire didn't give us a 9. So that's literally a non-restriction. And also the fairy has no purple cards, and neither did the vampire. So that's also a non-restriction. So at the moment, we are 100% not even affected by reviving these people. So we'll get the fairy for yellow. So just to show the card situation as we go into trying to save green, although we could give cards to him. Red's got all reds. He did draw his first vampire card. You can see the icons and the backs are different. Green's down to a 2 and a 5. And yellow drew a yellow card for the fairy. So, okay. So let's see. If red plays a card here, then green plays a card here, then yellow holds off and plays a card somewhere else. Oh, we know that we don't want green to play a card here because then they only have green cards. They'll be blocking their own play. So we should have red play here, green play somewhere else, then yellow play here, and green can finish it on the next go-round. All right, so red can play a 4 red. Green, he has a 2 and a 5. I guess starting the mountain with a 2 instead of a 1, not the worst thing in the world. We can go 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have like 7s and 8s available now from some of our decks too. Okay, and then green's last card is a 5. So if yellow's going to play here, we don't want to use a 5, anything but a 5. So let's do a 3 yellow. Oh, wait, no, the forest. We can't play. Ooh, shoot. I forgot that we can't play within 1 number. So yellow needs something lower. Oh, man, what am I doing? Yeah, I kind of messed up here a bit. Well, that's okay. I guess we can have yellow play one of their 2 3s over here. And then maybe red. What do we do, red? I don't want to use the rare. Let's use one of his discs to draw an extra card. That's his power. 3 doesn't work. The blue is good, but it's within 1 of the 4. Should I do it again? I don't know, man. Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Oh, no, yellow did get something that would work. Oh, no, because green's last card is a green 5. All right, well, I hate to do it, but whatever. I'm going to go and use a rare. Basically wasting it in the forest. And then I can consider this to be whatever number I want, so I can play whatever I want here as well. So yeah, green will play their very last card and barely complete the row. And what do they want? Don't necessarily want the Kraken, because that's a 9. Oh, these are all color-based. We can't play a lot of yellow cards. The yellow golem has a lot of yellow cards in their hand right now, but they're not going too soon, because the fairy was mostly green. So we definitely don't want the Kraken. Medusa would be reds, which is most of the alpha card, and I think the vampire still has maybe some more. So yeah, let's go with the mummy. So we can't play yellow cards for the moment, although again, we could just jewel that away. And bye-bye rare card, you were beautiful. And also, bye-bye forest. Now the middle row is the prairie, which means you can only play cards with these values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. So you can't play 5, 6, and 7s. You still can't have numbers next to themselves and colors next to themselves, but yeah, much, much easier to rain. The forest was a little bit of a nastier one to start with. And green, because their hand was empty, is going to immediately draw 3 of these mummy cards. Okay, we got some higher values. All right, for yellow's turn, I don't love the idea of not being able to play yellow cards. So let's discard this 1 green to get the 1/9, the easiest jewel, and now we can play yellows again. The mummy is happy. And with that, let's talk about the river, because I didn't mention it yet. So one of your options on your turn is to play a single card to the river. It has no restrictions on playing, so the Curses of the Eternals don't apply. It's kind of like a place to just throw off cards if you have nothing else to do. But also, whenever you generate a jewel, like I just did with the mummy, all the cards used to generate the jewel go down to the river, so you kind of get double use out of them. Because whenever the river gets to 5 or more cards, like if I have 4 cards here and I discard 3 to generate a jewel, whenever you fill it up with 5 or more cards, you get to take one of these 3 rare cards that's sitting down in the river to your hand, which is awesome. And then all the cards in the river get cleared away. But you do have to be slightly careful of this, because if you ever complete the river a 4th time when all the rares are gone, that's one of the ways you immediately lose the game, as well as the basic way of losing the game where you cannot play a card or take an action on your turn. But yes, now yellow's 1 is getting us 1/5 of the way to earning a rare card. All right, back to the red golem. I guess I'll play an 8. He's still not drawing anything, by the way, because he had drawn above his max hand size. But that should make the next run of the cave pretty easy to do. And sure, we'll have the beta golem do this one. So these are double color cards. When you play them, you get to flip them to either direction, and that will determine what the allowed colors are. Here, that would be illegal because you can't have red next to red, but now it's red next to green and red next to something else next turn. And then sure, yellow can play the 5 yellow. So now we have a lot of breathing room to finish up that row. Like maybe red's blue 3, I guess. And then the beta golem has a 1. Doesn't matter which way we turn that. And what do they want? So we can't play purple cards, which means neither of these guys are great unless we make the vampire happy. Ooh, Phantom's going to restrict 5 and 7. Skeleton's going to restrict 2 and 8. Looking at my hand, 2 and 8 is a little bit nastier at the moment. So let's go with the Phantom. So green's getting another big influx of cards. Red and yellow are getting a little bit worrisome again. And yeah, we can't play 5s and 7s for a while. And now going right on the cave is going to be quite an ask. But really what I want to do for stars and to actually win, because I got to remember I'm supposed to be winning this game, is to complete the mountain twice more. That'll get us the cards to get these 3 filled and get a star. That'll also get us 6 Eternals that we can put jewels on, and that will get us 3 more stars. We would win the game if we can complete the mountain row twice and then get all the jewels out. So something to strive for. And speaking of jewels, I kind of hate to do this, but I do have 3 different colors here. Let's have them spend them all to complete the 3 different color jewel. And what's more annoying? No 5s and 7s. Yeah, probably to complete the mountain. That's going to get in our way more than the purple restriction. We really want to make sure that yellow golem, or the, what is it? Alpha, beta, gamma. I think it's gamma. We want to make sure the gamma golem is the one who finishes off this row, because they have now made themselves very poor in cards. And then if we can finish it off again, somehow we can have red do it. By the way, the river is 1 away from giving us a rare card. So in worst case, if we have like a null turn for somebody, they can play a last card here and get a rare for themselves for the trouble. Actually, maybe red should do that, because they do have 2 of the same value, which would get us that jewel. Sure. Although, gosh, they're going to be really low on cards, but we don't have anything good for finishing the mountain at the moment anyways. Okay, we'll do that. And let's get purples to be playable again. And yep, we go a bit over 5. So all these clear, and red gets a rare. So that will definitely let them finish the mountain. And they got a 5 red. That's okay too. Ooh, we could actually, I don't know if I want to do this, but we could do 1, 5, 9 at the moment, because 1, 5, and anything, which would get us the star as well. Well, not yet, because I think red's going to need that to finish this row off. Okay, green's doing a 5, and then yellow can do a 7. Our only restriction right now is on playing 9s, by the way. Oh, crud. Yellow is down to these, folks. That's not enough cards. Oh, shoot. We also haven't used any hearts yet, so we can really like burn some turns giving them stuff. But yeah, I guess I'll do this for red. Oh wait, yellow's down to even fewer cards than red. Should I give this to yellow? Yeah, let's do that. So I'll spend a heart to throw this over to yellow. Just to remind you, yellow's ability is to ignore curses when he plays, and green's is to give cards for free without spending a heart, which I guess he could have done to give like the 8 to yellow instead of the rare. And then red keeps the rare, but what does red do on his turn? Okay. I've got an idea for what red does on his turn with this mummy ability, which I'll explain in a second. So I am going to, crazy style, have red do the 1, 5, 9 thing to get that jewel, and I guess I'll cover up the fairy. So that gets us 1 star for that. It'll get us another star for making those 3 first Eternals happy. So we're halfway to victory, but we also need to get these 2 jewels. But also, like I said, campaign mode, whenever you get a star, you... This is a terrible pencil. Let's try that again. Whenever you get a star, you highlight it. It's not really much better, Mike. And this can be worth victory points for you at the end of the game, as well as how many hearts you have at the end of each scenario, as well as how many rares you have in the river or in your hand at the end of each scenario, up to a max of 8 per scenario. But additionally, each star you earn is worth up to 15 victory points for all the stars put together at the end of the game. If you don't, do what I'm about to do, which is shade them in. And whenever you shade a star in, you can pick any golem's little diamond powers here to unlock. If they have 2 diamonds, you have to spend 2 stars to activate it. If they're like an arrow down, they're a boost to that power. And these are different ways for them to use their little tokens here. And ooh, I'm going to give Golem Gamma this top one. Draw 2 cards from the random deck, add to your hand. I got to shuffle that real quick. The random deck is a deck you actually don't use in most of the scenarios that just has a bunch of, as you can imagine, random numbers in it. But being able to get 4 extra cards as an influx is going to make Gamma, who's down to 3 cards, survive a little bit longer. Here it is, got random backs. And it's got 1 through 9 of each color, plus 4 rares. Heck yeah, if I draw those. And that's now going to be an option for Gamma to use for their 2 discs in every scenario. I haven't talked about these yet. So as an action on your turn, instead of doing any of the other things, you can store a card. It means you take a card from your hand, you put it under the golem, and it's going to stay there for the rest of the campaign. So you're actually stealing cards from Eternal decks, from your starting deck, or what have you. And also, whichever value you put under your golem is the same value you have to use every time you store cards for the rest of the game, although you can also use a rare. So like if I did 3s for a Golem Beta, then they would need to always have 3s or rares. But you can see, first of all, it earns you victory points, 2. If you do a rare in scenarios C or D, you get 5 or 4 victory points, respectively. But the important thing is, if you do it in A and B, the first 2 scenarios, you get to unlock one of these 3 bonus things, which are ongoing powers that don't require using a disc. Like the one that I really want to get for Golem Alpha, although I haven't done it yet, is red cards allow you to specify any color when generating jewels, or red cards allow you to specify any number when generating jewels, which would make in future scenarios, for example, the 1, 5, 9 or 3 of a kind incredibly easy to achieve. So we'll see if I get around to that. I don't know. But red has bankrupted himself. You have a rare and a 3, but don't worry, I have a plan. And what is that plan? That plan is... What is that plan? I'm going to use one of the Beta Golem's powers to pass red this Mummy ability card. So I haven't talked about ability cards yet, but there's another option on your turn. You can just play an ability card. Most of them go straight to the discard pile. And the Mummy's ability is you get to draw 3 cards as your action from up to 3 different decks. Each draw can come from a different player's deck. So in this case, with Beta just having a billion cards still, and Alpha having nothing, on Alpha's next turn, they can spend a turn to draw 3 cards. We already know that Gamma's got ways to get a lot more cards. Now, what's Beta going to do for their actual turn? Let's spend another heart. I don't want to use their other disc yet, and give Gamma that 8 we were planning for them to finish off the mountain. And yep, here we go. Boom. Oh, nope, not that way. There we go. So, yeah, green's not next to green. And we got one of the 2 Eternals we wanted. So what do we want? Not playing 1s. We have a lot of 1s, and we want to start a 1 on the mountain. We're not playing 4s, which we currently have none of, so sure. Let's get that for Gamma. We can't play 4s for a minute, and the Siren is unhappy. But Gamma has a card deck again, yay. And only the Phoenix is left. Remember, if we can get the Phoenix revived, they'll go there, and then we can put the last 2 jewels on them to get a star. And then once we draw into them, the, what was it? The Siren, the Phoenix, and the whatever I just got. Oh, the Fairy, I think it was. Once we get those ability cards, which actually Gamma already has one of, we can play them on our turn, 1, 2, 3, and get our 4th star and win, and try to level up before that happens, maybe. We'll see how well all that goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and spend the mummy for Golem A to draw up to 3 cards from, well, should I draw all? Let's draw 1 from Gamma just to spread the love a bit. Okay, we got 2 rares. That should make it easy for us to finish off 1 or 2 of those. And now Beta, we want to do the mountain one more time, so let's get that going. Oh, except what the heck does Gamma? Oh, I can play the butterfly as a delaying action because all they have is high numbers. This, by the way, does something different in every scenario after scenario A. These boards actually change, and what these cards do is they get you an immediate star, which would let you level up more, get more points in the solo mode. Okay, Alpha's got a 3. Is that skipping too many? So we got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but nobody can play a 4. We don't have any 5s. We do have 6s and 7s and 8s right now, and then Alpha's got a 5. I'm sure we'll figure it out, maybe. We don't have to only play in the mountain. That's kind of restricting. So sure, Alpha can play the 3, skipping over 2. And maybe Beta will play in the prairie, since that's such an easy one to play to right now. And maybe this other 3, since we don't need that. Or we could also... I'm worried about Beta running out of cards, but we could also use these as 3 of the same color, one of the 2 gems we still have to do, because we can count dual color cards as either option. Would that... We probably still have enough time to finish the mountain, right? Oh, okay. Oh, and that will get... them another rare card because we filled this up. So that makes me feel a lot better. All right, so all we have left is 3 of a kind, which again, I'm pretty sure Alpha can do worst case with their rares. Maybe Beta can do it. Don't know. Oh, Beta can very easily do it actually on their next turn, maybe. Oh, well, we need to awaken the Eternal before we can put the last jewel out because there's nobody to put it on right now. All right, Gamma still has nothing good to play. Let's go ahead and use one of their new powers. So they could play a card ignoring curses, but instead let's draw twice from here. 5 and a 1. Would the 5 give us enough runway for the next thing? I mean, we got 6, 7, and then an 8. So we do have the right numbers floating around to finish the Phoenix. Just not necessarily in the right hands. Especially with red running out of stuff. Well, let's draw 1 more time. See if we can get a rare or a 4. Wow, okay. Those are the 2 things I wanted. Let's do the... Oh, no, the crud. It's a green. Gosh darn it. The last card in the mountain is a green, so... should I do the rare now? You know, Gamma's got a ton of cards with the ability that it's used. Maybe they should do the... Oh, I can't do the 3 of a kind yet because it's not... There's no Eternal there yet. All right, you know what? It's fine. I'll do... I don't want to do the 5 because then the Alpha Golem... Oh, no, the Alpha Golem has a rare to play because now I don't care because Gamma can take care of the final jewel. Okay, so I'll play the 5 there. Then Alpha will play a rare. Now, very importantly, for the rares, they still have to be assigned a number that could exist. The rulebook goes into a lot of detail on this, but for example, I could not play a 6 here because this is a 5, and this has to be some number that fulfills the mountain's requirements. In this case, a 6 would be the easiest, so I couldn't play another 6 here and have this kind of be a null value. That is not allowed. But now that I have a path forward, I feel kind of comfortable. Let's just have Beta play another rare. Don't really care that much. And then let's have Gamma discard the 2 1s and a rare to count as 3 of a kind. Going down to the river. Nope, they can't. Mike, stop doing that. You haven't awakened the Eternal yet. So actually, instead, let's have them level up. Okay, they're going to get a 4 locked in. So I put a 4 here, and I forgot I also got another star. At some point, I'm going to print out one of these and laminate them. You don't have to use your stars right away, by the way. You can wait until like they're going to help you have the exact power you need in a future scenario, for example, and then fill it in. And also don't forget, whether they're filled in or not in each scenario, you get points for them. But also at the end of the game, any unfilled ones will get you victory points up to 15. That's where does Gamma want to level up? Yellow cards can be played ignoring all curses. I mean, they have a lot of yellow cards at the beginning of the game because that's their starter deck each scenario, but that's not necessarily great for the beginning because you won't have any curses yet. Refill to 4 cards at the end of your turn. Continuous effect uses 2 discs. What? I don't understand what that means. Because usually these abilities don't require using discs. That's weird. And finally, when preparing Eternals during setup, you can choose at will instead of rolling the die. Like I said, A, B, C, each of them has 4 Eternals, numbered 1 through 4. You roll a D4 to determine which Eternal you don't put out when you have 3 of them out. Gotta say, these are like the poopiest abilities compared to the other people. I mean, I guess I'll do the yellows can be played ignoring curses. So they can just try to get Eternals that are yellow. I don't love that. Okay, let's have Alpha finish off the Phoenix, because that has to be at least a 6. That has to be at least a 7, so an 8 is fair game here. So we get the Phoenix. Don't forget, we don't get the camp bonus yet. That's if we did this entire row again. No need to do it in this case. So there we go. We got the Phoenix. We can't play ones for a little bit. And Alpha is getting a hand again. Yay. But at this point, I think we probably just want to level them each up with different things. Oh, and that's right. We still need to draw into our Phoenix and Siren card to finish off our last star. Okay, so for Golem Beta, should we do like a 9? Although it's going to be harder to get another 9. Let's do one of the 2s from the Ghost. I'm going to get the green 2 because purple cards become of greater value in some later scenarios. Okay, so Golem Beta's got a 2. What are their options? Green card 159 can be given to a golem without using a heart. Meh. During setup, put 2 random blue starting cards at the bottom of your deck. I love that one. And add 1 blue disc to your supply of discs to be used. Ooh, which would let me do 3 disc powers a turn. Which could be like play a card ignoring all curses. Ooh, add a card from the river to your hand is fire. If I use 2 stars to get that, and I can do that 3 times, like grab rares that end up in the river. Woohoo! That would be kind of wild. Although I like the 2 extra starting blue cards, but now let's go for that. Let's go for having an extra disc in all future rounds. And then I think I'll spend 2 of my 3 stars I'm about to earn for that, which is great. All right, that was their turn, though. And then Gamma is going to do, as promised, the 3 of a kind, which gets the Phoenix happy, so we can play whatever we want again. We get a 3rd star outline, but don't forget we need to play Siren and Phoenix, their ability cards, to get the 4th one and win. And the second that you get all 6 jewels and whatever the scenario's goal is, in this case 4 stars, you stop playing. All right, now it's Alpha, and they could also unlock an ability. I mean, I could do the rare from the vampire, and actually I guess that would make Gamma's power to pick which characters you want to use a little bit better, because then I could specifically not pick the vampire, because I've already kind of weakened their deck, and they would only give you 7 cards without a rare when you got them in the future. But I think a 5 is more normal than a 7, and they all have different cards, so let's go ahead and take one of these Siren's 5s. Oh, so is Alpha the one who ended up with the Siren and the Phoenix? No. Gamma's got the Siren, Alpha's got the Phoenix. We just got to draw those specific cards. So I have leveled up to the 5. And looking at Red's options, we already saw them, but showing them again. Red cards allow you to specify any color when generating jewels. Red cards allow you to specify any number when generating jewels. And when you have 4 cards in your hand, you can generate any of the 6 jewels. You must spend all 4 cards, but can generate any jewel. Like the first 2 a lot better. Let's specifically go for the number 1, because like I said, that 159 jewel is always going to be the hardest one to generate. And Red starts with a bunch of red cards, 5 of them, so I could like very easily get it right away. Or as long as I get Eternals that are red, I'll have lots of options there as well. Okay, I didn't get the Phoenix card yet. So now I'm just kind of biding my time and trying not to run out of cards. And Beta is the closest to running out. So let's just start playing some stuff over here. We have no curses at the moment, so Beta can play there too. They have, just a ghost ability card. This lets all players show their hands. Oh, what was it in solo? I think the old rulebook didn't say, but the new one they have online does. Yeah, correct. I don't remember, so I'll skip it for now, but I'll go and look and add a little note to the video here. Oh, geez, man. You know what you can't play to the prairie? 5, 6, 7. Really? This is your hand, Gamma? Come on. And I have no things. Well, I guess I'll play into the river and get closer to getting a rare card. Sure. There's one more of those to go. And I didn't get the Siren's ability either. Darn. And dude, what the heck? Alpha also has rares, 6s and 7s. I guess he's playing a rare. And still no Phoenix ability. But no, I mean, I guess the rare doesn't really help at all here, does it? Beta can play a 3 of purple. That's fine. They can't draw anymore, though. But their 9 can be played, so they can use that to finish up. Gamma can play a 5. Oh, no, I can't play a... God, he has 5s and 6s and... This dude, man. This dude. Look at this. Stupid guy. And wait, Alpha only has a 9 to play, which is all that Beta has to play. Why is this suddenly becoming the hardest thing in the world? I want to use another heart. That's going to cost me victory points. Oh, we're here. These other places are still opened up. So what the hey? We'll play a 6 on the mountain. Doesn't really matter. And then Alpha will play... Well, here. He can still play the 9 on the prairie. Because then Beta, instead of playing the ghost, I don't remember, for an actual ability, will get the last river rare card by filling that out. So again, if we got 5 more river cards, we would lose. Not that there's any reason we should do that. And, Gamma, what are you doing, man? I don't know. That 1 should be on the mountain instead of a 6. I guess he can play a 6 on the cave. That's fine. Where is the stupid ability card, Siren? And then Alpha, who's also digging for an ability card, will play a 7 here. Still didn't get it. But Beta, boom! We're getting some final cards to help us out. I don't think it really matters. What is this? We can't play red cards, which Alpha has, and this is we can't play green cards, which no one currently has. We'll go for the Kraken. And where are we instead of the prairie? We're in the, I think it is the river. I don't remember the French, but now we can play odd cards, which sounds good to Gamma. And there we go. Jeez. Okay, so next turn we can play that one for Gamma. And Alpha, what are you going to do, dude? He has no odd cards. We'll play one to the river. I don't friggin' know. And okay, good. There we go. All right, now we're safe. We'll just play whatever because we already leveled up enough. There's the Siren from Gamma. And here's the Phoenix from Alpha, which gets us our 4-star. Boom! We have done it. Somehow. Did get a 4-star. We still have 3 of them unfilled, so we can use them for cool abilities. The big one being, again, I think Beta being able to add a card from the river to their hand up to 3 times is awesome. And let's count our score. You know what? I totally forgot about the rare thing. Maybe I should have tried not to play them. We got nothing for that. Hearts, we had 1 left. And we did get, of course, 4 stars, because remember, that is not a requirement in most scenarios. The keys are the requirement instead. So we got a possible, or we've got 6 points out of 8 possible. If we had lost the scenario, we could play it again at -1 to our total score. If we lost it again, we would zero out our score, although we could still upgrade from things, and we would just jump to the next scenario anyway. Basically, the whoops, you suck, try a different scenario. All right, so cool, that was Eternal Decks, and unfortunately, this video took longer than I thought it would. So I'm definitely not going to do a second scenario because that would probably make this go up into like an hour and a half or 2 hours. But let me show you what the next 2 scenarios are like so you can kind of see how things change up. So for scenario 2 and all of the later scenarios, you flip, I think it's this one, you flip this over, and for the rest of the campaign, whenever you play an A card, you just immediately get a star for an upgrade in points in the solo mode. So second A gets you another star, third A gets you another star, and you can still get stars from other stuff as well. But those ability cards don't do anything else, and again, stars are not the victory point requirement at that point, so it's not as cool. And then there we go. The second scenario, the B one, is the Haunted Village, or Village Fantôme. Worst pronunciation ever. And you're trying to get these 4 keys. How does that work? You have a key on each of the 4 B Eternals. You use 4 of them here, so the final reward is just another B Eternal. There's no like extra bonus. And each time you revive one of them, you get their key. Pretty straightforward. Although it's not as straightforward as you think. Because first of all, they go up here, and you can, there's an extra jewel over here. You can, with any 4 or any 2 cards, get rid of their curse for a little while. But whenever you clear the next B card, the jewel goes back if you moved it, and this person goes up to the regular revival area, and suddenly their curse applies again. So you kind of get double the duration of curses from these B guys. But the big thing that makes B scenario tough is that you use these 4 specific special terrain cards. You see they're just for the scenario. Again, sorry for the French. That make it way tougher to finish these guys off, especially based on the order they come out. So this one is Fog. Every card has to be of the same value. Ha ha ha. We got that last time for the final guy we were trying to do. So we were throwing rare cards away like crazy. And I think I got lucky and I got a few people that gave me 2 specifically. So we were able to finish it up, but it was tough. The Forêt Oubliée, the Dark Forest, is kind of like the regular forest where you can't play cards 1 adjacent to the number, but here you can't play numbers 2 adjacent. So if I had a 4, I'd have to play a 1 or a 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 5, 6, and of course 4 itself are all out. Oh, that's right, and they have to be the same color. This scenario. But purples are wild. And I forgot to say, whenever you get a star, this is why there's a little deck symbol here, you also get to take one of these 1 through 9 purple cards to your hand, so that can help you survive these mono color goals. And then this one, the castle, the chateau, it needs to all be the same color, but purple is wild, and it's like the mountain as well. So it's a mountain of mono color. And then finally, the festival. This one is just nice. This is the one kind one. It lets you play 2 cards on your turn instead of 1 while it's active, not just in that row, but wherever you want. And yeah, the game is way easier if this is the last one to come out in the deck, because then you can very easily play, 7 cards to get the last Eternal. Whereas, as I said, getting one of these as the last one is really a kick in the nards. And then quickly, because I don't want to bore you with too many details, but the Labyrinth scenario is the next one after that. And you have these Labyrinth cards in 4 levels of difficulty. And what you do is you shuffle them up and you flip 2 of them at a time. And it gives the players 2 different options of color configurations they have to achieve in the rows down here. So in this case, if we got 3 blues in the same column or 3 greens in the same column, we would complete it, which would earn us the matching key, in this case, the red key. But then you got to do the level 2s, which get more complicated. And then you got to do 2 random level 3s, which get more complicated. And remember, while you're trying to create these configurations of colors in the rows, you also have to do what the row wants you to do. Which is especially tough for the Labyrinth itself, because how it works is you need to have, like a palindromic sequence of numbers? I think that's right. Where it repeats in reverse order, like 5, 3, 3, 5. Is that a palindrome? I think so. So the Labyrinth itself is crazy go nuts in terms of how easy it is to complete that row. But you're also trying to do these color combinations. Yeah, and then things get even crazier in D&E, and there's also an F scenario that you can't play in the campaign, but you can play it in the new solo one-off mode, and of course in cooperative. All right, so I hope that was helpful, given an idea of this game, since I know it's not really available in English yet, but should be hopefully soon. It sounds like they're pretty much done and getting distribution going and stuff. And I will certainly have a review of this one, and I imagine we'll do a podcast too, because the cooperative play, which I didn't show you here, is really cool. Really like the limited communication. It reminds me a ton of Tranquility the Ascent and Tranquility the Descent. Those are quicker and cheaper games, but this one, if you want something a little bit meatier with a similar gameplay style, is great too. So yeah, review coming at some point. But for now, that's it for Eternal Decks. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, Dan, J. William F., Steve Wren, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.